I give in. I just give in. Everything has changed. I haven't used my damn computer in like a week since we did the last podcast. I turn in, there's no longer any Wi-Fi. There's just no Wi-Fi capability. I then want to, they want to be able to, what do you call it? Muck around with the audio for the opening track so it can be faded in, faded out. That option doesn't exist anymore. It's utterly ridiculous. It's been a week, and it just vanishes. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. That's right. I'm in a mood with this stupid streaming stuff. It doesn't make any sense. I've just spent 35 minutes re-establishing my internet connection, which it just didn't have, and it will probably just drop off for no reason. And now I can't, all my buttons are gone as well. It's stupid, is what it is. I don't get how people stream all the time. I don't get it. Look at me sat here, all lazy bones. But it's just, I sit down. I don't use this computer other than streaming. It sits there in the corner, gathering dust. Anyway, hello, my friends. Welcome to Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Show with a very annoyed and very angry Simon Miller. But I do appreciate you joining me. I do appreciate your patience. We'll put it down to Bray Wyatt. That's what we'll put it down to. If you are listening to this on podcast, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And thank you to the podcast crew. I appreciate you. Remember, also streaming live on Simon Miller's YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, do all that crazy stuff. Basically, we just had a lot of tech issues. To begin this week's show, we're 20 minutes late. That annoys me. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you start on time, you're late. I'll have to fix it at some point. But I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone did have a lovely week. I do apologize. There was no podcast on Thursday, but somebody went and got COVID. That would have been me. It wasn't anybody else. And it really took me out. I had to cancel a booking in Denmark this week for my wrestling. I massively do want to apologize to everyone that maybe listened to that was going to this show. I hate it. It really bothered me. I felt guilty all weekend, but eventually we kind of balance out and we continue. But I also want to thank everyone who did watch my video yesterday about one of my latest wrestling matches for Soft Pro Wrestling. It did all right. So I appreciate the support, and I appreciate everybody watching too. And, of course, if you are watching live, you can drop a super chat in the chat, and I will answer your question. I will say your statement, or I would get into it with you. Whatever you would like to say, I would make sure that I throw it out there. And, of course, you can support on Patreon at patreon.com/Simon316. And there's a bunch of the stuff in the description below if you are on YouTube, if you do want to check it out. I'd appreciate it, including my T-shirts. And who the hell wouldn't want some kind of a T-shirt? Right, let's talk about Bray Wyatt. And do you know what I want to talk about Bray Wyatt? I mean, mostly because that is a topic of conversation right now in the wrestling world. It kind of broke last night, and all of a sudden, everybody was speculating. Oh, he's been sent home. Oh, there's creative differences. Oh, Vince McMahon is back in control. Oh, what are we going to do? And then it kind of turns out that maybe he's just injured, or there's something else going on, but it has nothing to do with creative, and it has nothing to do with his relationship with WWE. Now, I will get on to my current thoughts on the Bray Wyatt character, but I would also say at this juncture that this may be one of those times, I've just seen that I've screwed up my my camera there. This may be one of those times where it's actually better not to say anything at all. Who said that? Was that a Ronan Keating song? You say it best when you say nothing at all. Because we don't know. And if you listen to the Wrestling Observer, which I do, Dave Meltzer hinted that it was something that he knew about, but he wasn't at liberty to speak on. And you'd have to imagine if that's how somebody feels, it's probably a personal issue. It could be something that we're not thinking about. It could be something to do with someone's mental health. He could be going through a bad time. He is a human being. Now, I don't mind speculating on people falling out with creative endeavors, and I don't mind people speculating on injuries and stuff like that. It happens in sports. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of I mean, there's plenty of times where you heard so-and-so's fallen out with the manager in football or soccer from my American friends, and then they sell the player or they go somewhere else. And it's the same with Bray Wyatt. We don't know what's going on. But when all of a sudden it kind of feels like we are walking on delicate earth, I always think it's best to just go, you know what, these are human beings. These people have emotions, and it's probably best that we kind of leave it out in the ether. I just think that's the best thing to do, because I know if I was going through the hard time, the last thing I would want is people going, oh, well, I know what it is. That did happen to me once. It was to do with my wrestling. Somebody, I can't remember where I saw this. Maybe it was on a thread somewhere. I don't ever Google myself, so I doubt that it was. Maybe someone sent it to me. It was on Twitter. I don't know. But I stumbled across it. And people have said something like, oh, Simon, I haven't seen you wrestling for a while. And somebody just threw in there, oh, yeah, he retired a while ago, doesn't wrestle anymore. Totally untrue. Totally untrue. And even that irked me. And who am I? Absolutely no one. So you times that by 100, and you can only imagine the kind of craziness that was going on. But I think with this Bray Wyatt situation, it's not worth it. We should just sit it out and wait and see. And we'll go through the individual ones. If he is going through some personal stuff, I genuinely hope he's okay. If he is injured, once again, I genuinely hope he's okay. That's terrible so soon to WrestleMania. Actually, when you do some digging into it, it sounds like the Bray Wyatt-Bobby Lashley match is still going to go ahead. So do with that information what you will. And, let's say it actually turns out it's all smoke and mirrors. Whoa! It turns out that it is something creative. Well, then we can get into that as well once the information is out there. I think it's sometimes I would rather be late than first. And it's definitely I'd rather have all the information than kind of go in like a bull in a china shop. Quick shout out to my man, Dan Lemley, in the super chat. Appreciate the super chats. All the money helps the podcast, allows me to do this. Appreciate it. In Randy Orton voice, stupid computer. Honestly, man, you have no idea. You have no idea. My patience is low anyway, right? Because I haven't slept I've had COVID for like just over a week. I'm far better today than I was on Saturday and Sunday and Friday, my word. But I've got no sleep, obviously. I mean, I've kind of dozed off a lot because of the crazy fatigue, but that's not proper sleep if you've had it. So to come back and just want to do a podcast and chill out and for it not to work, I'll kill you, computer. You hear me? I also want to mention as well, just because loads of people are mentioning it on my Twitter, cheap plug at Simon316, and they're mentioning it in the chat right now. Yes, if you did watch Raw last night over here in the UK and you heard a voice going, WWE 2K23 sponsors WWE on BT Sport. That's me. I got that gig 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I can't remember how long it is. We've talked about it before, so I won't get into it here again unless everybody wants to hear. But, I know the production company that make those. I get on really well with 2K anyway. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I've known them and worked with them for years. They're lovely, lovely people. And I know the people that produce that kind of content. So the two things came together. I do have a deep, angry voice that I used to get in trouble for when I was a kid. And so, yes, that's me. And I do appreciate every single tweet and every single person saying, oh, wow, Simon, you do that. It's one of the coolest gigs that I get. And I enjoy recording every single week. So if you are listening on stuff on Spotify or, again, of course, on BT Sport, my voice is probably about to be infecting your content very soon because these companies know that you're wrestling fans. Anyway, back to the Bray Wyatt stuff. Look, I have got to the point now with the Bray Wyatt stuff where he's a success. You can't argue he's not a success. He smells a ton of merchandise. People are, what do you call it? Into the character, they are, because you can hear that by the reactions. But when it comes to the stories, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. I know I always say this, but it's the perfect analogy. If somebody ran in here right now and put a gun to my head and said, Simon, explain the Bray Wyatt Bobby Lashley story, or Uncle Howdy, or LA Knight, I'd be like, no. I can't do it. And they'd shoot me and down I would go. I don't necessarily find myself looking forward to it. I don't necessarily think that I wanted to see Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley, but I was happy to let it play out. But if he has had to go away, there's going to be some sadness somewhere. Like, let's say he has fallen out with WWE management, which I want to make very clear, I do not believe is true. I do not think that's the case at all. He's going to be sad about it. And I bet Triple H is going to be sad about it because you would be sad about it because we've invested a lot into this character. But I don't think it's that. I do think it's something else. And I do think maybe this sounds way too mean and way too aggressive. I just think we need to get to the point a bit quicker. I just think that's the thing. I don't mind the spookiness. I don't mind the subtleness. I don't mind all the Easter eggs. I think they're quite cool. But I think whatever the point is, sometimes we just need to get to it, stick to it, and then kind of tell the story within that world. Because when it's all pomp and circumstance, I think eventually you do get a little bit like, well, I don't know what's going on here, and I want to know what's going on here. And if you don't get eventually you do start feeling stupid, I think, a little bit, because you're like, is this me? Am I not getting it? Is the story not being told well? Because I kind of approach most entertainment things and try and give it the benefit of the doubt and be like, well, I'm sure this is well made. A lot of people have made this. A lot of thought and craft has gone into it, so I don't want to crap on it instantly. But when I am sat there going, well, I actually don't know what's happening now, then you have to think, okay, is this me? Am I not understanding it? Or is the story just not being told well? Now, I'm not saying the Bray Wyatt story is not being told well. I just think we need to get to a full stop. We need to get to just an area where all of a sudden it makes a little bit more sense. And we haven't got there. So what I hope happens is that whatever the thing is, Bray Wyatt can, balance out, get back to 100%, come back, have his match with Bobby Lashley. We probably just need to plow through that now. And then let's, start figuring stuff out. Who is Uncle Howdy? How does Alexa Bliss tie into this? Why is the Firefly Funhouse back? That's all the things I need. But ultimately, again, he sells a lot of merchandise. He makes a lot of money for that company. So he has connected with the crowd, which is what wrestling's all about. There's no right or wrong if you're connecting with the crowd and people are into you. And I wasn't a massive fan of the, was it called the Pitch Black match, the Mountain Dew thing? I don't care about WWE sponsoring matches. That makes no sense, makes no difference to my life whatsoever. But we kind of flew past it so quickly. You know, Uncle Howdy pops up, does the big elbow drop onto LA Knight on that stage. And then all of a sudden, LA Knight has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt anymore. There's no follow-up. And then Bray Wyatt was saying, I want to take on you, Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley. Then we find out it was meant to be Brock Lesnar, but he didn't want to do it, so on and so forth. But yes, as far as I can tell, he's away with a personal issue. And that happens at work. It just so happens to, he happens to be in the spotlight. So I think we all need just to take a little bit of a step back and wait and see what's going to happen. I didn't think it affected Raw at all, again, because not massively a match that I'm super duper excited about. And I thought Raw was okay this week. I didn't think it had the same pizzazz and the same excitement that maybe other Raws heading into WrestleMania have done. I thought Cody Rhodes cut a terrific promo. That was pure fire. He was spitting passion. We're going to have that face-off between him and Roman Reigns next week. I think we need that too, because, Heyman is great, and the Heyman promo he cut too was awesome. But eventually you want the two guys in the match going at it, and I don't know what the go-home angle is going to be, because technically we've had three go-home angles so far. But I trust WWE at the moment, and I think that they will have a good plan in place. But I love the fact we did Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight. LA Knight has something special about him, because it doesn't actually matter if he wins or loses. He is one of these guys where you can just give him a microphone and he'll get back over. And you can kind of hear it. Not so much last night, but in other arenas, and apparently at the Madison Square Garden house show on Sunday, he's starting to get reactions. He's starting to, make that connection that we've just been talking about. And because he can always get his heat back, brother, on the microphone, I think we have something with LA Knight. I think we should do something with him. There's this rumor going around that apparently Stone Cold Steve Austin may have some kind of interaction with him at WrestleMania. Where that came from, I don't know, but I did see a lot of people talking about it. And I don't think that hurts you, much like it didn't hurt Kevin Owens last year. If LA Knight is in the ring at WrestleMania going, yeah, I can't believe, let me talk to you, that people didn't book me a match for WrestleMania. That glass breaks, you get the massive evasion. Those two do a bit of a promo off. You have a small brawl. LA Knight goes down with a stunner. I think that only elevates LA Knight. I don't often agree with that whole, you worked with a superstar, so therefore you are a superstar. But I think LA Knight has all the attributes where he would be able to do that, much like Kevin Owens did, right? Kevin Owens used that as a platform to dive for bigger things. And I totally believe that LA Knight would be able to do that too. And I would love that. I want to see Austin at WrestleMania, of course I do. And I want to see LA Knight, engaging with the fan base, not the fan base, engaging with, you know what I'm saying, like just have something that he can sort of lock horns onto and try and make something of that. So yeah, really love seeing Cody Rhodes and LA Knight go at it. I thought that was good. And you get the promo, that was awesome too. I like all this teasing with the Damage Control stuff. Now, minor spoilers, but they're not spoilers because we don't know if this is true or not. Once again, it's all the murmurs. At the moment, we have Damage Control versus Lish, Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch. And given that Damage Control beat up Trish Stratus last night and Lita and Becky Lynch were nowhere to be seen, Lita even said, you're trying to divide and conquer us, because that's how she sounds now. There's this idea that coming out the back of WrestleMania, Trish Stratus may go heel and feud with Becky Lynch. And you know what? We should do that. And the reason we should do that is twofold. A, that's a great match, and you're going to keep a lot of eyes on the product after WrestleMania, which is always a bit of a challenge. But also the rhetoric or the norm for bringing people back at WrestleMania when they're a legend is, we'll just let people cheer them because they're legends and they're not here for the long term, so it doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to abide by that. Edge, for example, who's more of a part-timer, obviously. But one of the reasons I don't think his heel turn in Judgment Day worked is because we know what he's been through. We know what he came back through. We know how much this means to him. And he keeps doing these interviews when he comes across like the nicest guy ever. Not that I think that matters, but some people have just had a path where it's difficult to all of a sudden, if The Undertaker came back tomorrow, I don't think you should try and make him heel. But with Trish Stratus, because she's now had a few comebacks, and because she is essentially telling age to flub off and is not aging at all, I absolutely think that there is a potential to try and turn her a bad guy and have a feud with Becky Lynch. And I would love to see that. I think it's interesting. I think it's exciting. I don't know how Lita ties into that, but, you can figure that out. So it's absolutely something I hope to see, and I think they kind of did hint at that yesterday on the show. So maybe that's why Damage Control win at WrestleMania, because Trish Stratus screws them over, and then maybe Becky Lynch and Lita are still the champions, and that ties into the next night when they face Shayna Baszler and Ronda. Maybe Trish Stratus can screw them over again. Why the flub not? Let's have some fun with it. It's not something we usually do. So if everyone's agreed to it, yes, let's do something different. Absolutely, let's do something different. And talking about things, not massively different anymore because we've done it a few times. We now have a Hell in a Cell match confirmed for WrestleMania. Again, it seems like this has been the plan for a while. And it also sounds like it is going to be sort of like Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor. Now, that's fascinating too. I mean, the Brood Edge is fine. But Demon Finn Balor as a bad guy, I don't think we've seen in WWE yet. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's ever been a heel on main roster until this point, so he wouldn't have been able to do it. And if you know that Finn Balor can play that role if you're familiar with Finn Balor's career. But I think that makes that Hell in a Cell even more interesting. It also kind of opens the door to allow them to be super duper aggressive with it and violent and maybe kind of pitch it in a different way. So I'm kind of excited about that too. I do think the Judgment Day Edge feud needs to come to an end here. The feud, I think it's gone on way too long. I'd say that. No, I'm not massively bored of it either, but I think the culmination of WrestleMania and Hell in a Cell is important. What else do you do after that? I mean, I don't mind if Beth Phoenix wants to challenge Rhea Ripley after she beats Charlotte Flair, but I believe is going to happen because they have unfinished business. But the men's side of it should be done. I kind of want Finn Balor to win. Do I think he will win? No. I think that's me staring into it. But I think the Judgment Day have been so good over the last year. I mean, it all depends what Edge's plans are afterwards. I mean, maybe they have an idea for him. I don't know. But I really, really do hope that we come up with some kind of idea. Don't break the Judgment Day up, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't think that would be a good idea on any level. And I hope we don't do it, to keep it nice and simple. I hope we don't do it. I don't think it would help anyone. But we will have to wait and see. I'm trying to think. I mean, the other Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa main event. I thought that was pretty good too. I enjoyed that. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure this isn't doing funny stuff. Oh, I don't know what it's doing. This stupid stream today. I'm just going to carry on regardless and just hope that it's okay. But I have absolutely no idea because it's just. Oh, I see what's happening. I literally lost my internet connection again. I just saw it drop. Have I reconnected? I have reconnected. Let's see what's going to happen. Apologize for people listening on podcast. Hopefully I will have the time to get rid of all this. There we go. We're back. Apologies for that again. I don't want to bore anybody with it. I have terrible internet. I'm waiting for GigaClear to get to my area. Hence why I have to stream off my phone. Blah, blah, boring. Point is, let's make sure we have something for Finn Balor coming out. And if he does lose to Edge, keep the Judgment Day together. Which actually also ties into, we'll get back to Solo Sikoa and Kevin Owens in a minute. Does actually tie into the Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio stuff. Now, at the moment, the idea is the same. Rey Mysterio is going into the Hall of Fame. Dominic Mysterio thinks he's a terrible dad. That line by Dominic Mysterio is all like, all my friends got Mercedes for their birthday, and you only got me a BMW, and it wasn't even an M series. Honestly, man, Dominic Mysterio and the Maximum Male Models are the best thing on Raw. Look at my face. I'm being serious. I'm not joking. They bring me entertainment, and entertainment is all I want in my life. So, I mean, I know this is not anything new, and everyone has pitched it, but I think we need to do what's obvious here, right? We need to do what's obvious. Go all the way to WrestleMania. No match. No Dominic versus Rey match. And then at the Hall of Fame, which is on the Friday after SmackDown, they did that last year. I don't see why they wouldn't do it again, especially because that's why they're delaying the Hall of Fame announcements so much, which, by the way, I believe are going to be Great Muta and Stacy Keibler. I think they're the first two, and Rey Mysterio, obviously. And Conan inducts Rey Mysterio, who is officially the godfather of Dominic. Dominic attacks. He beats the hell out of Rey, beats the hell out of Conan, and that's when Rey snaps. And you can do it on the Saturday, and you can do it on the Sunday. It doesn't matter. Because it's WrestleMania. It's already sold out. So you can bring some of these angles right to D-Day. Shouldn't use that phrase, but it's really, really offensive. Excuse me. But I shouldn't have done it, but I've done it now. But you can bring it right to Deadline and then pull the trigger. And I know I'm going heel crazy here, which you can't do at WrestleMania. I still think that Dominic Mysterio should win. I just do. Rey Mysterio is one of the greatest wrestlers ever. And when we used to do retro ups and downs, you realize, oh my gosh, he has been involved in so many damn good angles. It's obscene. If you want to make the argument that he's the best wrestler ever, I'm not going to argue with you. Well, I probably would argue with you, but he's amazing, right? He absolutely is. He's incredible. And the amount he changed the game and the doors he opened for so many wrestlers is absolutely nuts. So for Dominic Mysterio to all of a sudden, ruin his Hall of Fame ceremony and beat his dad, you can do WrestleMania Backlash, whatever calling it this year. Dominic can lose then, right? But I think Dominic has to win the first one, genuinely. So I like this angle. We're taking our time. It's like Undertaker and Kane. I will never fight my brother. Then they'll choke slam you through the parents' graves. Real thing that happened. And you'll fight your brother. So maybe he does that. Maybe he choke slams him 619 through somebody's grave. But I'm loving all of this. I love Dominic Mysterio. Rey Mysterio plays it great. get Conan involved, then you get the reality thing too. So it's massive ticks all around. I would try and make Dominic a champion before the end of the year. I don't care what it is. IC champ, US champ, world champ. And now you're getting mad at me. Do it. I'm getting old, man. I only have a few years. That's not true, but we're all getting older. I don't want no boring, same old when it comes to wrestling. I want people to take risks. I want Trish Stratus to go heel. I want Dominic Mysterio to be the WWE champion. And what else would be weird? I want Maximum Male Models to hold all the belts. I love that segment so much. If you're watching this right now and you voted in the Wrestling Observer Awards for Maximum Male Models to be worst gimmick, I'm coming for you, son. That's right. I'm not happy with you. I'm not pleased. I'm upset. You've annoyed me because they are brilliant. Chad Gable the whole night looking for Otis, which makes Chad Gable weird anyway. He'd lost Otis for an hour. You were in the police. I've got a missing person. How long have they been missing for? An hour. Did you check the toilet? No. Maybe they're having an elongated bath, right? You cannot search for someone after an hour. He got posters made, and he did it in double quick times. I don't know what they have backstage at WWE. But they did that, and then he finds him, and he's now Otis. He's posing for Maximum Male Models. Mansoir tells us that they can't compete tonight because they have a cosmetic... I can't remember the phrase now. It was brilliant. They basically can't do it because they're cosmetically injured. They're not cosmetically cleared to compete. There it is. Man, then Marseille's all disgusted with this. So is Maxine Dupree, and they all walk off. Chad Gable tries to re-recruit Otis, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. I loved it. I thought it was tremendous. It just made me laugh. Is it stupid? Yes. If you showed it to someone that didn't get wrestling, is it probably going to be of detriment? Yes. But I don't need to worry. Everyone always says that. I say it too, so more for me. I don't need to worry about that person. I need to worry about me. It's like when you get ratings in. Oh, the show didn't do a good rating. Yeah, but I still watched it. What do I care? I don't care who else watches the shows. It's interesting from a statistical point of view, and it's interesting from what's connecting, what's not connecting, who do people like and who do people not like. But some people are like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Did you watch the show? Yes. Did you like it? Yes. It's not a problem. Chill out, man. I swear. Some people don't have real problems. We all need to get real problems, right? Everyone needs to get a real problem when they're watching wrestling. Just as a few more people are in the chat and joining the show, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you as always. If you do have a question, a statement, or you want to argue with something, again, we'll get to some, but please use the super chat. A few pounds go in the coffers, always helps a little bit, and I 100% promise to read your question, statement, or whatever it is out as well. So we get to the main event. I liked it. Kevin Owens early in the night says, listen, Cody Rhodes, listen, Sami Zayn, I want nothing to do with you. Flub off. Sammy, our history sort of, forbids me for ever trusting you, or however you want to spin it. And Cody, I'm sick of you kind of barking orders at me. And then what happens? Solo Sikoa and the Usos kick his ass, drag him to the ring after that horrible chair bump. Oh, my gosh. And they pin him, and they beat him. And the reason Kevin Owens lost is not because he's a bad wrestler. It's not because he sucks. It's not because he's being buried. It's because, once again, the Bloodline have struck. And there's three of them. There's only one of Kevin Owens. Now, on one side, you're like, Kevin, that makes you really dumb. But this is driven by emotion, and it's driven by the past. And as he told us, when he wanted Sami Zayn's help against the Bloodline, what did Sami Zayn do? He sided with the Bloodline. You would struggle to get over that. Imagine your partner cheated on you and then want to get back together. You'd be like, no, man. You hurt me. My heart bleeds. My brain is sad. And that's what he's going through. But now, obviously, eventually he's going to realize, oh, no, I do need Cody Rhodes, and I do need Sami Zayn. Then we can do the three ways for a while, probably coming out the back end of WrestleMania with those two as the tag champions and with Cody Rhodes as the WWE champion. And I think that would be pretty badass. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good booking. I think it ties into the story. I think we can walk away from WrestleMania feeling warm and fuzzy in our tum-tums. Now on ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Miller. Cheap plugs all over the shop. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I love it. I'm excited about it. I want to see where it's going to go. And I think WWE has just done a great job with it. Again, you don't always have to go crazy. This just was like a nice little wrinkle to the story. Maybe not as wow or pizzazz as some of the stuff we've seen going into Mania. But again, we've still got 2-3 weeks. So, yeah, I liked it. The things that I didn't really click for me, wherever we're going with Baron Corbin, I think we need to get to the point very quickly because they're not even hinting it at the moment. He's just losing and getting, ragged on every single day. And I like Baron Corbin. I think he's a great utility player. I think he's one of these guys that any promotion would be lucky to have because he can do anything that you ask him to do. So if we are going back to sad Corbin, let's now start hinting at it sooner. Because, again, I think sometimes you can go too far the other way without actually sort of telling the audience. And the other, I did not get the Bianca Belair Asuka stuff. Like, I really, really didn't. And a few people have already messaged me going, "Oh, Simon, you said it was okay with the Omos Brock Lesnar stuff." But we can use this as a comparison. Before we do, I just want to say, Zach Poff in the super chat, thank you so much, man. Appreciate supporting the show. Really, really helps. Allows me to do these a couple of times a week because you don't make any money from it on the YouTube side. Not going to lie, you just don't. Love from America, Simon. Isn't that cool? So I'm watching from America. Hope you feel better soon. Me too, bro. I know I'm ranting and raving here, but I can feel it. Should Sami KO versus Usos main event night 1, or should it be Rhea versus Flair? It's a great question. I've been thinking about this a lot. I mean, ultimately, I think you have to go with the build. I would like Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair to main event night 1 because I think it makes that title, well, it elevates it, and I think it elevates those two too. But the problem is, I just don't think that build is particularly good. That's the issue. So I think with night 1 at WrestleMania, you want to make sure the crowd's in a frenzy. Because if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win the tag titles, everyone's going to go crazy. It's going to be a Kofi Mania situation. And then if you have Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte, even though the crowd will go crazy for that too, I just think there'll be more amp for the tag team match. And sometimes you just have to go with what makes the most sense, which kind of is a shame. But at least there's history both sides, right? Obviously, it makes sense if you have Rhea and Charlotte do it. But I don't think a tag match has ever main evented a WWE card. So the main event WrestleMania, even over 2 nights, fantastic, wonderful. Give it a massive tick as far as I'm concerned. But tying it back into the Asuka versus Bianca Belair stuff, I don't get it. I like Chelsea Green a lot. I think she's great. That match was fine for what it was, but it kind of felt like it was just there, and we weren't focusing on the stuff we need to focus on. Then Asuka comes out to make the same after, Carmella beats up Bianca Belair along with Chelsea Green. And Asuka dances around with the title, and she's got all the blue mist in her mouth. And this would be fine. I like Asuka. She entertains me. I also think she's one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet. Forget male, women, female, gender. Doesn't matter. Whoever you are. I think Asuka's one of the best. And I think the reason I worry about it is when I kind of tie it into other builds that are going on. A lot of thought, a lot of time, a lot of nuance, I suppose, which WWE hasn't done in a while. And then all of a sudden we're back to Asuka dancing around and Bianca Belair getting mad. Like, why would Bianca Belair get mad? I don't get it. And then she pretends to do the blue mist, but it's just sort of in her mouth, like she's using a mouthwash. It just went over my bald head, right? I know that's easy. If I had hair, it may actually hit my hair and fall in my lap and be like, oh, I understand it now. But I just, I think we could do more with them. And after people got mad at me, because basically on Ups and Downs today, check it out on What Culture Wrestling when you're done here. It's a fun old show, if I do say so myself. I gave the Brock Lesnar Omos stuff an up, and I gave the Bianca Asuka stuff a down. Everyone's like, well, here's the thing. What are you expecting from Brock Lesnar versus Omos? Isn't this exactly what we were expecting? It is for me. Right? So the bar is low. So I watched it and I was like, why not? Who cares? It was weird when they went tumbling over the ropes, but I'm actually happy to watch 2 massive men clash at WrestleMania for 4 minutes over 2 nights. Yes, I am. But when it comes to Asuka and Bianca Belair, I'm like, no, we've got more here. We have top tier talent. We have people that can smash it and can be game changers and can elevate and do all these kind of stuff. And we're not, I just don't think we're utilizing them in the best way possible. It's just how I feel about it. And again, it doesn't mean that I'm right. I could be totally wrong. And I may have to sort of sit back and try and view this in a different way, which I'm always happy to do. I think it's important to always be aware and transparent of that stuff. But yeah, it was just lost on me. It feels like, it does not feel like they're fighting over the Raw Women's Championship at the moment. And the Raw Women's Championship kind of feels like it's just floated into the background. Much like those women's tag team titles have done again already. I know it's because we're doing the Damage Control versus Becky, Lita, and Trish stuff, but they're never talked about. They're never seen. They're just such an afterthought. Don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. It's kind of funny. It does tickle me. It does tickle me just a little bit. So I thought Raw was decent. I think WrestleMania is going to be great. For all those asking, yes, I am going to WrestleMania. I believe the What Culture crew are coming as well now. So we will do the ups and downs after all of the shows. If you're out there on the Wednesday, just do a cheap plug. There is all these shows going on the Wednesday. Pandemonium, Dark Arts, and there's another one too. I am wrestling on 2 of those shows, hopefully 3 of those shows. And then on the Sunday, in a wonderful twist of events, if you're around before WrestleMania Night 2 and you have loads of time to still get to the show, people understand. I am wrestling on Mitzvah Mania. And I know what's happening there now. It's going to be a lot of fun. I actually think they may be sold out. But if you can come down to any of those shows, please do. I'd love to see you. And, of course, on my end, that's like a mini dream come true. I mean, to have 3 bookings over WrestleMania weekend is pretty cool. And I was going to get some more, but then, some stuff changed with What Culture. And I was like, okay, but we will be there. We will be hanging around. So we'd love to see you, and I'd love to say hello. And if you want to come and join in the Ups and Downs madness, please do. And you can be part of the crowd where at least 10 people in the comments go, "This is the worst Ups and Downs ever." It's my favorite Ups and Downs. It basically justifies my entire existence. Shout out to John the Gin in the super chat. John, you're always supporting. I appreciate you massively. You allow me to do this. Thank you so much. Loved your video on Sov Pro in itself and because it introduced me to them. Saw the 8-person match. I became a huge Bandit fan and remain a Sterling fan. Well, that is awesome. Yes, I put a video up yesterday about my match at Sov Pro back in February when I main evented. What kind of world are we living in? Against Joseph Connors. And the reason I wanted to do it is to get Sovereign Pro's name out there. They're a brand new promotion here in the UK, but man, they're good people. And they're really putting a lot of time and effort into this. And they're being super nice to me. I mean, that's maybe one of the reasons I like them so much. But, you know, I'm not going to get mad at that. But, yeah. It's still up now. Now, obviously, Joe used to be a WWE NXT UK superstar. So I did call it I wrestled a WWE superstar, you know. I understand how YouTube works, but also, you know, he's a top-tier talent. And so many people, after both watching that match at the time, got in touch with me and said how much they appreciated that match, as you have done as well, John. So thank you very much. It's very validating because there are still people out there, both in the industry and outside the industry, who see me as nothing more as the stupid idiot YouTuber. And I'm always happy to be that. I am the stupid idiot YouTuber, but I have never, once in my life and never will, we're more than that, right? We're human beings first and foremost. We're individuals. You know, we can have many facets to our bow. Like I've got a big acting thing this evening that I'm very, very excited about. I got 2 wrestling matches this weekend for Tidal and UKPW. Again, if you're around, please come on down in the Kent and Huddersfield areas. I'm going to continue the YouTube stuff. We're doing it right now. I want to add more strings to my bow. I want to have fun. I want to embrace all the opportunities. Let me do this. Let me do that. It gives us some sound, but I know that's not good sound. That's bad sound. Right, there we go. That worked. Oh my God, this is just hell on earth, isn't it? Why do people stream? Why? I give in. Now I can't even remember what I'm going to talk about. It's just a nightmare. I live in flipping Narnia. Obviously, I moved a few months ago, and the internet is just, I mean, it's a joke. It is a joke. I tell you now, I'm just going to let you in. I don't care anymore. I've lost all my viewers now. As soon as you crash, people go. I literally get 6 megabyte downloads in 2023. That's the best internet I can get here. 6 megabyte downloads. After Virgin told me that wouldn't be the case. Mother Hubbards. Right. I don't know what we're talking about now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask me as many questions as you want in the chat. Please do that. I'd appreciate it. Any super chats would be awesome as well. I don't think there's any news we need to talk about. Oh, I will tell you this, actually, in case you're interested. Obviously, WWE 2K23 comes out tomorrow. I am going to be doing a social media Let's Play on my Instagram and Twitter at Simon316. Again, I got a cool relationship with 2K. They allow me to do these cool things. I've been playing it the last few days. Really, really fun game. You already know what it is. I think we may have to end it because it's going to... I've still got sound, which is good. Basically, my internet just keeps dropping. I can see it happening. I can see it. I can absolutely see it happening. This is why you don't do... has it gone again? Oh my gosh, it's gone again. And that's... No, what the hell? I don't know what... This is ridiculous. This is the worst one yet. How can anyone sort of keep up the what do you call it? The flow when your internet drops and your microphone stops working? Why don't we just sit here? Should we just sit here? I give a brown down to this internet. Give an absolute brown down. Let's do... Oh, it's gone again. For goodness sake, man. Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I don't know what to do now. It's literally dropping every few seconds. Here's what we'll do. Ask as many questions as you can in the chat, and I'll answer as many as I can. And the next time it dies, I'll just have to draw a line under it. It's not been a good day. We started late because of tech issues. I should have known that we were going to be inundated with tech issues the entire time as well, which we have done. And it's completely thrown me off my game. I had so many stuff that I wanted to talk about, and now I can't. And now I can't even think. The worst part is, it is awful if you're listening on podcasts. Why do you care? But I don't care now. It's like I say, as soon as you have any kind of tech issues, you lose like 25% of your audience, because of course you do. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you lose? Why wouldn't you lose that? People say, I got stuff to do, man. I'm going to be dead one day. I can't watch your ass and your stupid tech issues. And they just fly away. What I will let you know, excuse me, is that hopefully not next week, maybe 2 weeks' time, the setup is going to be completely different, and we're going to completely change sort of the way that we approach these things. I've got a badass desk that I'm looking at now, which is nowhere near built. Got a bunch of shelves on the wall. I got a cool logo, and I just want to make it look more like an actual show to kind of differentiate it from the other green screen videos we do on the channel. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. It will also stop any of these issues happening in the future, because the setup will be connected the entire time. So I'll have a setup over here and I'll have a setup over there. I just thought I wanted to, because it feels like now we can go back to streaming all the time. YouTube isn't sort of treating it as anything bad, which is good. It did used to have a bug where if you live streamed and tried to on-demand videos, one would always impact the other. And I think that's gone now, fingers crossed. So yeah. We'll just treat all of these up till moving to that little space over there as trial and error ones. And today was definitely an error. But we'll answer some questions, throw some super chats in the chat, and then we'll just we'll wrap this one up. And it's just one of those days. One of those days, it happens. I'm going to my first TV wrestling show on the 29th. Adam Cole is making his return there. Who do you think he faces? Man, that's a great question. I don't know. I do think so. On Dynamite tomorrow, I do think that it'll be Darby Allin that interrupts MJF's rebar mitzvah, whatever the hell we're calling it, and we'll do that. Also kind of feels like Darby Allin's going to retire or something. Very, very interesting. And then I do think we're going to move into the Adam Cole feud later in the year, and I kind of think Adam Cole should win. I think he should be the guy to beat MJF, I think. But who he faces on that show, I don't know. It needs to be somebody credible, but also somebody that he can beat. So maybe a Claudio, maybe like a Wheeler Yuta, an Evil Uno, somebody like that. I don't know. It's a great question. It's going to be really interesting. I can't actually work it out. If you could add any match to WrestleMania that isn't already predicted to be on there, what would you add? I would add Big E versus Goldberg. And that's not even a joke, because it means Big E would have come back. And also, I know that his dream match is Goldberg. And that would just make me massively happy. Would you have a one-on-one with Sterling, or will you? Big fan of you both. We were meant to have one in PCW, and then my car stopped working that day. I was completely broken down, and I couldn't get there. But one day I would like to. Yes, we've been so close to doing it. It's always me that stops it. That's me. I'm like a walking disaster. Where am I going? Do you think Roman will be at Money in the Bank in London? Good question. Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. He should be. But they're going to sell out anyway, so maybe not. I guess it depends what the story is. That'd be interesting. Good question. I like it. Will I do a live stream about fitness one day? Yeah, probably. Probably we'll get there at some point, yeah. What do you think about HBK recycling the collapse angle with Roxanne? Wrestling always recycles those kind of angles. What I like the most about it is some people thought it was legit, which is good. You got work. That's what you should do with wrestling. But it was just because they were of an age where they didn't know about the Owen Hart, Shawn Michaels angle. So I felt 100 years old. But yeah, look, Shawn Michaels is booking NXT. It makes perfect sense that he's going to bring back some of his old angles. That angle was pretty good at the time. I thought she did very well with it. I thought it was sold good. I like the way the referees came down and he was like, "Why are you here? Where's the medical personnel?" So, yeah, I liked all of that. I thought it was good. I like NXT. I tell you, man, NXT 2.0 is a weird show. I mean that in a real complimentary way. It's a bit like Impact. They just do what they want, and they exist in their own bubble. And I like the fact that it exists. I get a real kick out of NXT UK. I like it a lot. Where else am I going? Everyone just saying they want Big E back. Absolutely. And who wins between Big E and Goldberg? Well, I think Big E wins. I don't think you can have Big E come back from a neck injury and then Goldberg beat him. That's just sad. That would just make me really like, oh man, bro, man. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think probably if Big E is coming back, he shouldn't do it at WrestleMania. We should probably do it on a lower key match just to make sure he's okay, because health and happiness is the most important. Roman is most likely to take a step back. But what are your thoughts on giving him the Money in the Bank briefcase? Tribal Chief with the briefcase could be entertaining. No, I wouldn't do that. I think you should use the briefcase for people you want to build. Sami Zayn is the exception to that rule because it puts him back in a position people would want to see him in. But I think you want to use it to someone that you have big plans for because it's such, people still believe in that thing. So it's a massive leg up. What's next for Cody if he loses, which he could do? Don't forget my Rock versus Roman Reigns scenario. Well, I think Cody will still win eventually, probably going into SummerSlam. I think even if Cody Rhodes loses at WrestleMania, he'll be the champion around the summer. So we'll just continue on that story and do that. Have you heard anything about why Miro hasn't been used? Well, as far as I know, it's just because they can't agree on creative. But we don't know for sure. But I would like to see him back. I miss him massively. Simon, who wins in an Iron Man match between Repo Man and Doink the Clown? Look, I like Doink the Clown, but Repo Man is the guy. I have some fun news about Repo Man soon. That's right. Always believe in your dreams. Not sure if it's come up already, but is anybody else disappointed that we still don't have a resolution between Bray and Bliss yet? Well, we kind of talked about it. I think we need to draw a line under all those stories as soon as we can because they have been left in the ether just a little bit too long. So, yeah, I think that's fair. Talking about NXT, it's 2023 and no word on NXT Europe. I do still think it's happening. I've heard a few sort of murmurings going around, so I wouldn't count it out too yet. Probably get out the other side of WrestleMania, and it's a watch this space, again, probably over the summer. Your thoughts on Alex Wright, the character from WCW? I loved Alex Wright and his dance. Oh my gosh, Alex Wright was great. Alex Wright was a character that could fit into any single era of wrestling. I was a big fan of Alex Wright. It's 2 a.m. here in Australia. Appreciate you, brother. I've got work at 6 a.m. and I'm up watching Simon. Got priorities. That's nice of you, dude. Thank you very much. That means the world of me. And I massively apologize to you for the tech issues too. I just wanted to have a good show. When Roman does lose the championship, what should Cody's next feud be? Well, I'd like it to be Gunther. Probably won't go to that straight away. I can kind of see Bronson Reed being put into that picture because it's a big guy that Cody can beat and he's undefeated. He's been smashing fools. I can see WWE doing that. Down the line, I don't know. Who's his big feud going to be against? Solo Sikoa, maybe. I think Solo Sikoa should be a mid-champion before the end of the year, US or IC. Absolutely. That guy has got it. He is awesome. Should Miro come back and beat MJF? I don't know you can do that at the moment. It depends how we pitch Miro. I mean, I'd be for that. I can't see it happening. I don't think it's going to be happening. Chaz Straw in the super chat. Chaz, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It helps massively when it comes to this madness because clearly I need new technical things. Do you think Gunther beats the Honky Tonk Man's record? Oh my gosh, Chaz. Right. Can I do this? Let me see if I can figure this out. So how long did Honky Tonk Man? So Honky Tonk Man IC record. Someone in the chat probably already knows and you'll get there before me. So the Honky Tonk Man held it for 454 days. How long has Gunther been Intercontinental Champion? Thank you, Google autocorrect. 245 days. So he's essentially got another just shy of 200 days to go. 200 days. What's that? 200 days. 30, 60, 90. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's like another 6 months. Yeah, why not, Chaz? Why the flub not? Yes, I think he probably should. It's difficult because if we do a triple threat at WrestleMania, I kind of think that puts a little blip on it. But as we have got this far, and because he has actually brought prominence back to the Intercontinental Championship, which everyone said they were going to do and they never done, Gunther did it. Yes, Chaz. I think he should. But something tells me he's not going to. We'll find out. Do you fancy hosting Match of the Day, Simon? Yeah, well, bit of a poison chalice at the moment. I'm just glad that situation is sorted out. Do you see Sami Zayn winning the Money in the Bank and cashing in on Gunther, who just beat Cody for the title? No, not just beat. I mean, that's a scenario you could potentially do, but when Gunther gets that belt, if he gets that belt, he should hold it for a while. A long old while. Like, he's already proven he can be the dominant, general champion, and I think we should just copy and paste that for the World Championship. Maybe he's still the Intercontinental Champion as well. Again, why the flub not? I'm getting old. I've only got a few days. I've only got a sort of a limited number of years left on this planet. Just do crazy stuff. Who the flub cares? But I like basically every scenario we're pitching here is Gunther does all right. I'm not going to get mad at that. Could Sami turn heel and attack Cody after WrestleMania? I mean, he could, but I think it's a terrible idea. It's not right for him to turn heel. I actually think Kevin Owens, I wouldn't do this either, but I think Kevin Owens is in a better position to turn heel in terms of how the fans see them. The fans genuinely root for and like Sami Zayn. Don't slap him around the face. We've seen that doesn't work, and I don't think we should be doing it. Will there be a WrestleMania vlog this year on the channel? Absolutely. And this one's going to be nuts, because I'm going to make sure that I cover all the wrestling that I'm doing. And I was meant to do better last year, but I'm bad with vlogging. I forget, because I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, I'll try and do a proper vlog this time, so you get the whole experience, especially because I've got all those matches. I'll try and set my camera sort of just off stage, so we can watch some of them back. So I hope it's going to be good this year. I'm going to have to go sort out a lot of stuff when we get done here. If my internet is, got to be in my bonnet about it. It's very, very frustrating, I tell you. Who knows what's going to happen next? Who do you think had the best debut of all time? I mean, Kane's is always going to be up there. Chris Jericho's is always going to be up there. There'll be other ones I'm not thinking about right now. I liked Sting just because I thought it was quite momentous. Actually, Sting's in AEW is right up there, because even though it was a pandemic crowd, you still got the atmosphere. You still got the what do you call it? I don't know. There was just a buzz about it, which I think only somebody like Sting could have done. There's only a few legends that could have filled that role, and I still go back and watch that. It was proper goosebumps. But there'll be loads I'm not thinking of. But they're the ones. The obvious ones, I think, are the best ones. Tom Talks Rubbish in the super chat. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate you. Keep kicking ass with that boxing too. I see you doing it. It's very inspirational, very motivational. Thank you for being amazing. An open invite on my show anytime you're free. We do need to sort that out. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I genuinely have the craziest schedule ever. But we will do that, Tom. And everyone goes check out his stuff. Tom does good interviews and is just a nice, positive source into the world. And we can always have more of that in wrestling. My man Tom Ramson, does it always have to be Kane? It's a great question, Tom, because it's got to be Kane. You know this. You know that it's got to be Kane. It's a great question. Tom Ransom, good guy. All the love to him in the world. Will there be a Miller versus Callahan match in the future, maybe for the Impact World title? I don't think it's going to be the Impact World title. Some people are really mad that match didn't happen. It wasn't my fault, people. I'd booked my train ticket. I booked my plane. That was a train ticket too. I booked my plane ticket and a hotel. Then the pandemic hit. I lost thousands of pounds on that. Thousands of pounds. I mean, it's not funny, but if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And so many other people went through worse things than I did. But look, I talked to Sami Callihan sort of here and there. I'm sure if we can ever do it again, I know I would love to do it, but maybe it was of its time as well. But no one was more disappointed about that than me. That was really upsetting. What happens to Chad Gable if Otis joins MMA? Does he get a push? MMM, sorry. Does he get a push? I don't know. I'm a bit worried. They seem to have kind of switched on a dime with Chad Gable recently. I hope that he does. But he's still very entertaining at what he does. But I, too, would try and give him some sort of IC or US title run before the end of the year. I think he's awesome. Custard cream or bourbons? That's a hard question. I think probably custard creams. I like biscuit. The biscuit is the better. They're both biscuit, but the chocolate, blah, blah, boring. Do you have any big goals for the remainder of this year, Simon? Yeah, no, I do. I have some wrestling goals I'd like to achieve that I'm working on at the moment. And a lot of acting stuff, too. I would like to try and secure, even if it's just a one-line role, I would like that before the end of the year. I've done a lot of self-tapes over the last 6 months. My agency has been super good to me. Oh, it was a nightmare the other day because of my stupid internet again. I didn't get a self-tape through. It came through, but I didn't get the notification because I'm a moron. So, yeah, I would like to do that too. Again, we talked about it earlier. More strings to the bow, etc., etc. Shout out to Tom Talks Rubbish again in the super chat. It's very kind of you, man, to send to. That means a lot. Just sent you another email for an interview whenever you get the time. All right, let's get that done. Get that done soonish. Even if we just squeeze in 30 minutes, I'm sure we can find it. If you could bring back one tag team, who would it be? I'm going to say someone and probably forget about it now. Who the hell would I bring back as a tag team? Chronic. No, be serious. I mean, the Heart Foundation comes to mind. Demolition comes to mind. I think it would probably be the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors. It's a bit of a weird answer, right? Because obviously Hawk has passed away, which is super sad. Animals, they both passed away. Holy crap, I forgot about that. So that's super sad. But they were just the coolest when you were a kid. You know, they're awesome. The face paint, the shoulder pads, the way they were is fantastic. It's absolutely, absolutely brilliant. One wrestler to go to WWE from AEW and vice versa. I always say this. Put Kevin Owens in AEW and put MJF in WWE. I don't even want them to move. I'm happy with them there, but I would just find it fun. Or Kenny Omega in WWE. I would just like to see what he could do. Put Roman Reigns in AEW. I don't care. Have a great old time. Amazing, amazing headlines. The most overrated WrestleMania moment. Oh, I don't know. I don't think there is an overrated WrestleMania moment, is there? Is there anything they put on a pedestal that I'm like, man, it wasn't that great? I don't think so. I think most things that have gone down at WrestleMania have been pretty cool. I'd have to see examples. I'm not sure. With the current state of With the current state of the main roster, where do you see AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle when they make their return? A stable with all three? No, I don't see that. I mean, I presume that AJ will go back with the Good Brothers, hence why they haven't been on TV. And I think you have to carry on the Randy Orton and Matt Riddle stuff. I don't know what you do with it now. But look, they are three top-tier talents. That's not a bad problem to have. Them coming back makes your roster deeper, opens up more potential for storylines. Absolutely awesome. My man Zuby is in the super chat as well. Zuby's part of Sob Pro. There you go. This is why they're so damn lovely. No question, just paying for your cough spray and get well soon. See, Zuby was kind enough to see that I was suffering with COVID. And he gave me all this advice about what I can take. Now, the reason I haven't coughed throughout this show is because I may have taken an awful lot of cough medicine. But it only lasts for about an hour and a half, and then it comes back again. But Zuby, you're a good dude. So everyone just write nice things about Zuby in the chat, because he's a phenomenal guy, and he's done a lot for me, as have the Sob Pro guys. Like that, too. He didn't have to do that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? People are nice, you see. Throw positivity back into the world, and you'll get it back. That's massively important. Right, we'll do a few more and wrap it up, because I'm going to lose my stupid signal again. Would you bring back retro ups and downs or kayfabe news? Kayfabe news will do. That's just about finding the time. Retro ups and downs, I've said this before, I don't control that. And I understand why it went away. Not enough people were watching it. And at the end of the day, what culture is a business? Hopefully one day we can bring it back a little bit, but I get my list of videos, and I'm more than happy to be that guy. Appreciate what culture, appreciate my position, appreciate my job. But that was I'd also be honest with you guys too, though. It just, less and less people started to watch it. So it was like a show on television. It got canned. I used to enjoy doing it, but what can we do? Let's do three more. Did you ever finish Red Dead Redemption 2 or Spider-Man? I finished Spider-Man. I didn't finish Red Dead 2. I love Red Dead Redemption, but the second one had too many survival mechanics in it for me. It just did. It fell away. If you could listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be? I mean, it'd be a Metallica song. It'd either be Master of Puppets 1 or Creeping Death, or something bizarre like Dyer's Eve. But it would be a Metallica song. That album comes out in 1 month. I'm so damn excited. And the Mario movie. What a great April it's going to be. For you as a wrestler, what is your favourite storyline that you've ever thought of for yourself? Well, I won't go into specifics. And it's a team effort, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the stuff we've done down in UPW with my heel character has been awesome. Because again, it's a collaboration. I get to do some really stupid stuff. And we had a whole year when I just ran amok with the title and nobody could beat me and I refused to have matches. And we worked around injury. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was wonderful. So I like that too. And there'll be other ones as well, I'm sure. But that's the one that springs to mind. Because again, I had massive input there along with a lot of others as well. Anyone else here got WWE 2K23? I've got it. Stupid thing to say. And do you think CM Punk will stay with AEW? There's the way we can end the show. Do I think CM Punk will stay with AEW? As always, I know, Simon, you're an idiot. I think we have to remember people's thoughts and emotions beforehand. And we don't know the current lay of the land with Kenny Omega and the Bucks and Tony Khan and CM Punk and anybody else that was involved. Do you think I will? Do I want him to? Yes, as long as everybody can get on. Do I think he will? I don't know is the truth, because it's a difficult situation, right? I don't think they have to work together, but they have to agree to exist backstage. And that can be easier said than done. I hope that it can happen. I think CM Punk brings a lot to the table. Again, I don't know these people as people, so I don't have to worry about that. I think Kenny Omega is genuinely one of the greatest wrestlers ever. I think the Young Bucks are one of the best tag teams ever. I think CM Punk is a generational talent. He wouldn't have the name recognition and the value he has without it. AEW is better with CM Punk in it. And one of the matches, ironically, I wanted to see was CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. So I hope that they can figure it out. Yes, I truly do hope they can figure it out. My heart says no. My head, the other way around. My heart says yes, and my head says no, which I know isn't a great answer, but that's just how I feel. And one more shout out to Tom Talks Rubbish. Thank you so much, Tom, who's mentioned that we are going to arrange this interview. You've sent the email. I'll get back to you. It may not be today, just because as soon as I've got here, I have to zoom out, and I'm back home, and I've got a 3-hour meeting. But I promise you that I will. I'll definitely get back to you, and we'll do that. I will answer this first, though. One match you're really looking forward at WrestleMania is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. It just is. It's the culmination of the Bloodline stuff and the tag team match too. But I think when we get to the second night of Mania, we'll all have a great time. We've had ups and downs and lefts and rights, obviously. And then at that match, no matter what happens between now and April the 3rd or whatever it is, second, I can't remember if it's first or second or third. I still don't think anyone is going to be totally sure that Cody's going to win. They're not going to be totally sure that Roman's going to win. You're going to have a very different match than the Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns stuff because they're two very different wrestlers. And I think, talking about WrestleMania moments, I think that's going to be one. And I'm super duper excited about it. So, yeah, I think I put that one at the top. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair as well, just because I want Rhea Ripley to win and hold that title till at least next year's WrestleMania. That's right. Okay. We're going to wrap it up there. Apologies, this was such a bust. If you're listening on podcast, I can already see that my audio stuff's gone crazy. I'll do my best. But again, we'll be back on Thursday at 2 p.m., I hope. I'll always be here eventually, but we'll have to see what goes down with this crazy stuff. We will be here. I do want to continue to stream at least twice a week. That's the idea. Along with all the other videos. Got a cool video tomorrow about Arsenal Football Club, and we've got some gym fails going up, along with some other of my random rantings and ravings. Thank you to everyone that joined. If you are still here, if you could like the video and drop a subscribe if you haven't, that's awesome, because YouTube loves that too. And thank you for all the super chats. Genuinely, it's the only way. That and patreon.com/Simon316 is the only way I earn money from that. So massively appreciate it. If you want to give me some there, that'd be great. If you're into your fitness stuff, make sure you go to GorillaMind.com/Simon, because Simon get 10% off. These are the supplements I use. I think they're wonderful. Come follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You know about that. You know about my merchandise. It's in the link on both YouTube and the podcast. Samson Athletic Tees, pro wrestling tees, new designs going up all of the time. And I'm on Cameo if you want a personalized video message. They are really, really fun to do. I've tried to put them as cheap as I possibly can because, well, it's cool to earn some money from your time, but I also want them to be accessible. And I've done so many cool things on there. They always put a smile on my face. So massive thank you to everyone that's got me on there too. Otherwise, who knows how this podcast is going to end? It's not going to be smooth. I can tell you that. But we'll get there. Again, until the nice table's here, I've decided that none of this counts. This is all the bodge podcasting, and then we'll get to the real stuff. Take care, my friends. If you do get ill like I got ill, take care of yourself. Don't push yourself like I do. It's probably not worth it. And I'll talk to you soon.